Welcome back to their hot takes, and the first one is about Cody, and it says Cody Rhodes was an awful champion, and I've seen this a lot, and there will be more in this video about Cody Rhodes in a negative way, but I don't think he was a bad champion at all. Do I think that he had the greatest reign of all time? Absolutely not. However, I do think he's had some great title matches and some good stories. I think the matches with Kevin Owens were a lot of fun. The same thing with AJ Styles. I think the whole Bloodline thing was a mess, but besides that, I think Cody Rhodes had a pretty good run, so I don't think he was an awful champion. I can agree with you, King House. The next one is about Chelsea Green. A guy named Ricky says Chelsea should still be the US Women's Champ. She was doing great work, and I gotta agree with this one. I think Chelsea Green's character work is amazing. I think she should have held on to that belt just a little bit longer, maybe a few more months, just to really solidify a great reign for her, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I think she might have a good chance of winning the Money in the Bank. We will see in the future. Noisy Boy says that Travis Scott being involved in John Cena's heel turn was actually good, since it would have been too obvious without him. I just can't agree with this at all. I think Travis Scott being in this storyline at the heel turn as well as WrestleMania was a disaster. I don't think it was good at all. John Cena winning by himself would have been better without Travis Scott, in my opinion. Staying on the topic of John Cena, Sam Jacobs says that 100 Super Cenas should beat one gorilla. There, I said it, LOL. And this has been a trend that's been going crazy on Twitter over the last few days, and 100 Super Cenas might have a strong chance against the one gorilla, because that man was absolutely unstoppable. He was a dominant beast, so I would feel bad for the gorilla in this case, because 100 Super Cenas might be tough to beat. B Smith 806 says that Cody is not anywhere near the star that people say he is, and I will say that Cody is actually a bigger star than a lot of his haters would say. Cody was killing it when it came to the crowd sizes. Every arena would be sold out, and that was Cody as the top guy. Even when Roman was a part-time champion, Cody was one of the biggest acts in the WWE at the time, and he was carrying WWE. So I would say Cody is a pretty big star. If you think about it, he helped kickstart AEW, and then he basically revived WWE with Roman Reigns. So I would say Cody is a pretty big star. KC4276 said Cody Rhodes' story should end with him going back to his natural position of being a jobber. That is just messed up. Cody should not be a jobber. I don't think Cody Rhodes should be a jobber, but I really don't know what happens with him in the future. Does he have another redemption storyline? I hope not. I think we need to see heel Cody Rhodes cheat to beat John Cena or something of that nature. It would be epic. Imagine if this entire time The Rock used John Cena just to turn Cody heel, and then John Cena gets so upset, and then, you know, we get The Rock turning on John Cena. Cody aligns with The Rock. That would be a pretty good story if The Rock is committed, but I don't think he is. J-Max says that Gunther needs to leave the WWE. No, he does not. Gunther has done amazing, incredible things in the WWE. He had one of, if not the greatest IC championship run of all time, and then he had a pretty solid run with the World Heavyweight Championship, and now he's going to have a match with Pat McAfee, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. Gunther is great in the WWE. Not Fade Away 522 says that Randy Orton is the greatest WWE wrestler of all time. No one compares in the combination of longevity, star power, promos, character work, and in-ring ability, and I would say that Randy Orton is up there as a top 10 WWE wrestler of all time, but he's not number one. In my opinion, that award goes to The Undertaker, because he did have longevity. He wrestled for 30 years. He had even more star power than Randy. His promos were great. He had the best character work, because I think The Undertaker is the greatest character, and his in-ring ability, clearly, he's got bangers in that ring. So I'm sorry, I gotta disagree, but I think Undertaker is the GOAT. Master Chief says that the Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania was better than the actual WrestleMania itself, and I've got to agree, and I think that's due to the fact that The Rock did not get involved, and this was just Triple H cooking. I really think The Rock is a problem. I will talk more about that in my next video. PGKD says that Austin Theory should join Paul Heymons' group. I totally 1000% agree. I think this is exactly what Austin Theory needs. I think he's a superstar in the making. It just needs a new storyline, and this would be perfect for him. Josh Collins says that Bronson Reed is joining Seth Rollins next when he comes back. That's an interesting one. I didn't think about that at all. Personally, I would not mind adding Bronson Reed into this group, because just like Austin Theory, that would put Bronson Reed at a very, important spot where I think he could thrive and have some bangers and be like the bodyguard of the group. So I have no problem with this at all. Double O Flame says that Becky should join the new Paul Heyman faction as the 5th member. I gotta disagree. I don't really want to see Becky Lynch in this. She doesn't really need to be in it at all either. I'd rather see a woman who's young, who's from NXT, maybe someone like Roxanne Perez joining this group, or even Julia, someone that actually needs it, who could become a big thing in the future. Becky, like I said, she's already got star power. She does not need this group whatsoever. The next hot take says that Chad Gable deserved the WrestleMania slot more than El Grande Americano, and I gotta agree with that. That is messed up. The fact that Chad Gable has been in the WWE for over a decade and did not get that WrestleMania match over El Grande, that is just some messed up stuff. And for that, Triple H, I gotta say, you really messed up with that one. WWE Guy Stuff says that Drew McIntyre will be the champ by the end of the year. I really hope so. I don't know if this is the case, just because I think that Johnson is going to hold on to that belt until December, and I think that CM Punk might be the one who dethrones him. And then as for the World Heavyweight Championship, there's a chance that he could win the Money in the Bank again, but that would be kind of weird. But anyways, he could win it again, and actually this time successfully cash in. We will see. Who knows? The next hot take says that if Finn Balor never got injured, he would be a top star in WWE today. I really don't think that's the case at all. I think if Finn really never got hurt, he would have a run with the belt for like 5 or 6 months until WrestleMania, and then just drop it to like Kevin Owens, and that's it. I don't think anything else would change. I know that a lot of people think that injury derailed his career and ruined his run at the top of the mountain. I don't think that's the case. But who knows, we will never actually know what would have happened with Finn Balor. Walter White says that we need a heel Rey versus face Dominic Mysterio match. I don't think so. I really don't want to see Rey Mysterio as a heel. Look at John Cena. Right now, his heel run isn't as good as I thought it would be. And Rey Mysterio is someone who I think would have an even worse run as a heel. I say let these two just have a reunion. Let them tag team against, I don't know, whoever they're feuding with at the time. I guess Finn Balor and Carlito, or whoever screws them. Because I'm assuming Dominic Mysterio is going to get kicked out of Judgment Day. Sold Out 360 says that Dominic Mysterio is this generation's Stephanie McMahon. I really don't even know what to make of this hot take. I thought it was funny. I think they mean maybe the fact that he gets booed so much. I really don't know. You know, I'm just going to say I can't agree with this because I just can't comprehend what you're trying to say. Leo says that Survivor Series should not have War Games this year. Last year's men's match had too many people getting injured. Aside from getting injured, I think the real problem with War Games is just that you're overdoing it. It's overexposed. I say bring it out when they really need it. It doesn't even have to be at Survivor Series, but even if you want to keep it there, actually keep it there. If there's a storyline that needs it, don't book around the War Games match. I think you got to have a solid feud and then book the match. The next hot take says that Solo Sakoa is criminally underrated and unappreciated. I don't think that's the case. I think he's perfectly rated. Right now, Solo Sakoa should not be at the top of the card, and he's not at the bottom of the card either. He's kind of where he needs to be, because right now, Solo just does not feel like a star. I say give him a few more years. Speaking of Solo, Dice King says that Solo needs a new character and needs to bring back his indie wrestling style back. The only reason he wrestled like that was because he's a babyface, so I do agree. I think maybe Solo needs to become a babyface, and he might be better off than just being this heel of the Bloodline group. Like, the Bloodline is done. We got to move on from it, end the group, and have these guys do their own thing. Ashton says Ilya needs a championship upon his return. He's so great in the ring. He's allergic to having a bad match. I agree. Give him the IC or United States Championship. Ilya Dragunov is a beast in that ring, and hopefully when he comes back, he does have some gold. Mighty 8 says, I swear most of these hot takes aren't hot takes. They kind of are, but some of them aren't. But anyways, I don't think a feud between Cena and Orton was as good as everyone thought it was. Nostalgia is one hell of a drug. I agree. I thought that feud was kind of mid. I think if you look back to 2007, that's when I like the John Cena and Randy Orton feud, but the one in 2009 was kind of long. It went too long. They had too many matches, and I didn't really feel it too much, you know. So I will agree with this hot take. And Christopher says if Wade Barrett never got hurt, we would be having a different conversation about who's the greatest of this generation. This is when you know you got to end the video, because there's no way somebody really thinks that Wade could be the greatest of this generation when you had CM Punk, John Cena, Randy Orton, all in that. We got to move on. Anyways, that is it for the video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe for more, and I'll see you all in the next video.